14 WILI and 95.3 FM presents Hometown Threads, a closer look at our community and the people that make it go. Every week, you'll hear uplifting stories from our local businesses and our neighbors. Now, here's our host for Hometown Threads, Keith C. Rice.
Welcome into episode 84 of Hometown Threads on 14 WILI Willimantic, 95.3 FM, and Willimantic Today Facebook, WILI Radio, YouTube, Spectrum 192. Where else? The Keith C. Rice Facebook page. Plenty of places to view the show. One place to listen to it. That's every Tuesday, 5:05 to 5:30. Hometown Threads on WILI. Of course, brought to you by Liberty Bank, be community kind, with 3 great local locations right across the street from the radio station at 679 Main Street, Willimantic, Gateway Commons, West Main Street, Willimantic, and Route 195 in Mansfield. Liberty Bank, be community kind. J. Matt Rupar, if you'd be so kind, say hello to the fine folks.
Hello.
And of course, as I mentioned, plenty of places to watch it. You can only listen to it on WILI and WILI.com. We have a show sponsor. We also have a podcast sponsor on WILI.com. Big thanks to Triple E Pro Clean Services. Keith C. Rice, welcome in my guest for episode 84. Again, been having multiple guests a lot lately.
That's a good thing.
And I'll pick up my pen because I did a J. Matt Rupar read my mind. I started to go like this with the console, and people that hear the show on the radio go, what's this? Well, if I pick up the pen, that won't happen. The people who are watching this can see exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, welcome in John French, who's no stranger to these microphones, as well as Scott Miller from Miller Brothers. Welcome in, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And we're here to talk about a very important hurricane relief drop-off. We will get into that, as was Northeastern Connecticut is helping out North Carolina. And good job out of, I'm sure, you're the one who came up with the start of this, John French?
Yes, we started out. Actually, I have a member of my RTC, her name's Patty, and she's called me up one afternoon and said, John, what do you think if we just get somebody to, donate shoe boxes full of, toothpaste and combs and all that kind of stuff in Coventry? I said, that's a wonderful idea. Give me about an hour. And I got back to her and it exploded into 26 towns.
Look at that, So we'll get into this. A lot of devastation in Florida too, but specifically North Carolina. And we'll get into what's going on and how you can help out. And good job out of you, John. And of course, Scott Miller is one of the, you guys are one of the drop-off locations. Mm-hmm. But as we do here in the top of every show, we get to know our guests. How they came to the community, how long they've been in the community, what kind of stories you can share with us. Let's start with John first, because John reminded me, John French, that he was one of the originals, one of the OGs of the Thursday show, the Republic Forum, which is now Tom Vians and I almost said Jeff.
How about you got mixed up.
I got it mixed. I was going to call him Tom Vians and Jeff White.
There you go. Remember that.
Jeff Vians and Tom White. So little on that, John. Again, I almost called you Jeff now. Get us started on. You were one of the original hosts with Harry Carboni on the Thursday show here on WILI, right?
Right. It was a new thing for ILI at that point. And, it gave us an opportunity to go out there and have some conservative value talk. It was live radio, so that there was call-ins. So it made it really interesting. So it kind of really snowballed from there. I would spend the Thursday nights here, and then all of a sudden I got tied into a Monday night on Charter TV.
See, you were so good. We brought you in for
a few did. You guys were my starting point here. So then we had Monday nights on Ion Wyndham, and then I went to Wednesday nights as well with Ion Connecticut. And it just, we're just trying to get the message out about, conservative values and how they can work for us. And I'll go back to the days. My most favorite point in politics here in town was in 1991. I became chairman of the finance board, and I was there to the year 1999 and till I retired. And it was a very tough time. It was Lowell Weicker became governor, and things changed, and we had a stock market crash in the late 80s, and there wasn't any money to be had, but we were able to develop things. We were able to actually build the new middle school back then. I was one of the ones, along with Dr. Proctor, that we did a dog and pony show and went everywhere trying to sell people on the importance of a new middle school versus what was the old Kramer. So there were a lot of good things that we did. I was just mentioning a little while ago before we went on the air that this is one of my favorite times of the year because it's trick-or-treating downtown. And that's one of my favorite things is because in 1991 is I started the trick-or-treating downtown.
Right here. As I moved away for a bunch of years, but I had no idea that was your baby. You started that.
Yeah, it was. The Chamber of Commerce gave me a plaque congratulating me on it, and I'm just so proud of it, what it is today, that it's still going on after all
it's
these
huge.
years. You know, you're talking 33 years or so.
You still, since it's your baby, you must go back every year and check it out.
I try and come down here, but you know what's really satisfying? I have 2 great-grandchildren that live in Coventry, not more than 1/8 of a mile away, and they can't wait to come to trick-or-treating downtown Willamette.
That's great.
So that in itself says everything for, just a proud great-grandpa.
That's what a story. I'm sure you got plenty of other stories. Welcoming Scott Miller from Miller Brothers. Tell us about yourself and the company and all that.
Well, we started in Willimantic in 1929 with my grandfather, and when he started hauling people from the train station and delivering their items into the neighborhood when they would used to come to work at the thread mill, when the thread mill was in town. Then we were in the moving industry up to about 2014, where we departed that and diversified into 7 different businesses.
Really?
Yes.
Well, let's hear a little about that, too, how that all came down.
Well, the moving industry changed through the years, especially after 9/11, which had a huge impact on it. And we decided it was time to make some choices and make some changes. There were some challenges, but we successfully diversified into self-storage, classic car storage, mobile self-storage, Hertz car rentals, Penske truck rentals. I'm also a VP Racing Fuel distributor, and then we still have our sand and gravel operation too. So.
Wow, and we should mention Miller Brothers, of course, Wyndham Road in South Wyndham.
Yes.
Have you guys always been at that location, or?
Since 1972. That's when we built our first building there.
Good year.
It was a very good year.
People are doing the math. 52.
Yeah.
So anyway, so 72. You moved. Where were you guys before that again?
We were down Fire School Road. We have some property down there, and that's
Really?
where my grandfather started out from his great grandparents' property.
So this goes. Miller Brothers goes way
Right
back.
where the radio tower is.
Oh, that's right. My father told me. Yeah,
Right.
over by the original, the WILI AM
tower.
radio tower, which that's right. Oh my God. Yeah, over past Tony's Pizza,
It
across from Rec
used to
Park.
be known as 1 Main Street. Wow. So and now it's I think 36 Lafayette.
And that was the original Miller Brothers location.
Correct. That was the original location.
19. Did you say 1929?
1929 during
Oh,
the Depression. So
And it goes back like how many generations now?
I'm the 3rd generation.
3rd generation. So it goes back to your great grandfather,
Well, my grandfather,
your grandfather,
then my father and uncle,
and your father and
and then
uncle.
myself.
All right, and your father and uncle. What are their names?
Alan Miller and Ron Miller,
Okay, and when did you and your brother?
a cousin.
I'm sorry, you and your cousin. What's your cousin's name?
Stephen.
Okay, so you and Steven run the business now?
Well, he was there until we departed the moving industry in
Oh.
2014. He went to nursing school. He graduated with honors, and he's a very successful nurse. He got handpicked for a special spinal unit when he graduated.
How about that?
So,
What a story.
yeah.
Wow. So and now,
Like I said, there's been a lot of changes through the years.
yeah. And good for you for holding on. How much longer do you think you're going to, keep the Miller name going? Or
As long as I can.
this is
So,
great. This is great. I love hearing these stories. One of the reasons why I started doing Hometown Threads about, almost it'll be 2 years in November, is bringing in people, hearing these stories of generations of families that have started these businesses like the Miller Brothers, and we've had the Tony's Pizza people in and stuff like that. Just one day it hit me. I go, this would be great. It'd be a great thing to do. Just showcase these families and current business owners, former business owners, or people that don't have a business but have great stories to share. And that's why we have you guys in here today to talk about the North Carolina Aid Relief Drive, which is happening right now. You kicked it off a couple weeks ago.
Well, actually, it was only about a week
and a half,
not
maybe.
even a week
Yeah,
and a
about
half.
a week and a half ago.
It's been
Tell us
doing-
how the ball got rolling again, and then we'll get.
Well,
right
again,
into
it was I had this member of my RTC in Coventry that called me up and said, "How about if we do a little drive in Coventry?" And I just kept thinking about it, and I said, "Well, we these people need more than a shoebox of things." So I made some calls. The quickest thing I saw, that being a Republican town committee chair, was we have a network of. In our case, I'm now in the 35th district. Then I used to run this district here is the 29th district, and I still have a lot of friends here in the 29th. So, and I also have like Columbia and stuff, which is the 8th House district. So I just thought, well, I've been trying to get the chairs to get together and to be able to get stronger and to realize there's more things out there that can be done. And so I hit the road hitting 26 towns, and we've got them pretty much on board. But the biggest thrill I had was to go down to Miller Brothers. And I said, "This is what."
Is that what I ran into you guys at? Was
that was the moment when you walked in.
You caught it.
I caught you guys. All right, so you went in to talk to Scott that day.
Yeah.
I just happened to walk in randomly for a whole other situation, but I caught it live and in action right there.
Right, and I it was within a second. He says, "I'm on board," and it was, "What can I do?" And Scott is just unbelievable. He's got all kinds of things going for me. He's probably the biggest supporter I have to keep me going. It's just awesome. He'll call me up on a daily basis, and we'll talk about what came in and generated today, or this and that.
Well, my father vouches for you guys too, and as I said, I moved away for a bunch of years, but. Yeah, I remember hearing all about you guys, and even before I moved away, I was still doing WILI, but I've heard so much about you guys, and it's great to work.
Well, when you talk community, this is what we are. It's important that we realize that there's times that we have to get together. We're very fortunate here in Connecticut. We don't have the problems that the rest of this country seem to have, whether it's hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes. Thank God, but.
Very fortunate.
It is time for, I'm sitting back and nothing's getting done, and I'm just saying, and when Patty said to me, we really should do something, it just clicked.
Your story, and we're going to get into all the nuts and bolts of this in just a sec, but you remind me of when I was doing a morning show in Pennsylvania back in, what was it, 2011 to 2015, before I moved back up here. I was the third person on the show, and kind of half jokingly, it was right after the Oklahoma tornadoes in 2012. I said, "Yeah, why don't we just pack up the station vehicle and I'll drive it down there with supplies?" That snowballed into kind of what you just said, John. Next thing you know, we had a week to pack one of our vehicles. We just thought let's call it 10K for OK. Get it? Yeah. 10,000 pounds for Oklahoma. Within, we only promoted it for a week, local radio. And then we show up at a supermarket that day. We're getting the word out. We'll be here from such and such time. It turned 10K to OK. Turned out to be 40K for OK.
Wow!
They put me on a coach bus, and I broadcast live from the whole way. So it gives you goosebumps how
it does.
Any kind of community can wrap their arms around something like this, and let's get into it.
So it's amazing, and the people have been, so receptive of this. The biggest thing that I'm hearing is. Thanking us for doing this, because the community wants to help. They want to come forward and really help, but they don't know how to do it. And we're giving them an avenue that they can come down and, yesterday we had a lady come in with 4 big boxes of diapers and baby wipes and, and things like that. And then I went over to you were away for a couple of days, and his secretary said, "Well, we got this $12 from this person." And when you see $12 and it's a donation, it's the last $12 in his pocket that he was willing to donate for a better cause.
How about
that? That $12 means more to me than somebody coming up with 100, 200,
right.
Because it's just that means so deep.
Now, were there people that are thinking, well, what about, are people approach you going, or even you, Scott, going, wait a minute, okay, North Carolina got hit, but what about Florida? Well, I mean, I know we're helping out North Carolina really got the worst of it, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they got hit.
And I know Florida's getting help too, but North Carolina got whacked.
They had no advance notice. Florida, they've had a week to evacuate.
Right.
They knew it was coming. North Carolina, that just kind of came in 5 hours, 29 inches of rain, and bam.
Yep.
Yeah, it washed the towns right off the mountain.
That's
right.
It's
just awful. And it's still, actually, I do have a message from my coordinator down there. Can I play the message? It's about 2 minutes long.
How do we do that? Is it on your phone?
Yeah, it's on the phone.
So what we'll do is for people on the radio, put it up to your mic, they can hear it.
Yeah.
And then, we could hear it over the video
right.
too.
So this is direct from North Carolina. It's Barbara Strang, who's the coordinator.
She's the coordinator down
there for 320 square miles. They have counties, and she's in charge of the county.
Now, what part of Carolina is this again?
Right around Asheville.
Right around Asheville.
Around where it happened.
Okay.
So I'm going to play you. It's about 2 minutes long, and you'll hear her reaction. She's actually addressing Coventry. We had a fundraiser that night, but she's meaning this for the entire 26 towns.
Now, make sure that your volume's turned all the way up there.
Good evening, Coventry, Connecticut. My name is Barbara Strang, and I'm from Cabarrus County, North Carolina. Just wanted to pop in and say hello and let you know what we're doing here in light of Hurricane Helene. We have been doing weekly multiple drops into our western North Carolina mountains. The devastation has been incredible to see. We have been setting up trailers and storefronts to collect supplies, and we are making multiple drops back and forth to the mountain areas. We have taken 8 loads so far to various parts of North Carolina, and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future, which is probably going to be at least 6 to 8 months. We're also collecting funds through several different local organizations here in Cabarrus County that we have partnered with, such as Battle Guard Outdoors, Bernhardt Outdoors, ProCal, and a number of other ones. We are doing everything we possibly can to get supplies to our neighbors in western North Carolina, since they have lost absolutely everything. We are super excited to be working with you guys, and can't wait to meet some of you when you come down. But we really, really appreciate you thinking of us and working with us to make sure all of our friends and neighbors are taken care of. No matter where you are in the United States, it's a huge thing. And, we're not stopping. We will continue our efforts. We are planning to do some Thanksgiving items up there in the mountains for them, as well as look at doing some Christmas things for the kids. We have located and made contact with a children's home in Black Mountain, and we are working with them to do everything we can to make sure those children have a nice Christmas and have the items that they need as well. If any of you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me directly at 704-796-3771.
But somebody was trying to call and tied into it. Sorry about that. But she says how she feels very blessed that we're coming together to do this for them, and she can't wait to meet some of us when we come down.
Now, let's get into this whole thing. This will be going on for a long time then, right? You're just going to continue to pack up vehicles. This is where Miller Brothers comes into play? Or
they may be. We haven't discussed it.
I was going to say, I know Scott's helping in all avenues, but...
Yeah, we have a couple trailers, a trailer at our location, a trailer at Beaverbrook Saw Shop in Scotland, which is being filled out there.
Oh, Beaverbrook, we know them too. So we'll get into all the, including Miller Brothers, all the drop-off locations and times and all that. Will there be, I guess what I'm asking is this just going to continue going on until whenever? Till we just continue, like there'll be multiple trips going back and forth, that kind of thing, or what?
Well, I foresee it as, we're trying to get a truckload out by the beginning, like November 2nd or so, or at the end of October. That's what we're looking for on the first truck. But I'm going to continue. We may end up doing cycles on weekends and stuff to collect, and we're going to shoot for Thanksgiving. We may be able to get a bunch of, we can get some bread stuffings and the cranberry sauce and all that kind of stuff. There's things that we can do, and then we'll get a shipment down for hopefully Thanksgiving.
Who's going to be doing the driving?
Well, that's I can't commit to anything right at the moment.
Matt, want to go for a road trip?
but then we definitely want to also gear towards the children for Christmas. So this is going to go on until at least the first of the year.
I love it. And heck, if they need it, I don't want to speak for you, but if they need it into the new year, might as well keep going because you just kicked it off literally a week or two ago. And let's run down. We can go down the whole list unless there's been revisions.
Well, they keep getting revisions because actually last week they got snow, and a lot of these people are living.
Oh, they got snow last week.
They got snow up in the mountains, and so we're looking at warm clothing. We're looking at sleeping bags. Anything like that. Hats, gloves. Anything like that is going to help them at this point as winter creeps in. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like FEMA is going to come in with any trailers, which they did for down in New Orleans at the time.
FEMA isn't really?
Yeah.
Gee.
At this point, they haven't come up with anything at all. So these people are determined to help themselves. They're going to pick themselves up and they're going to rebuild. And so that's why I think we feel that we need to help them.
All right, so you mentioned the stuff because of the snow that just hit. The warm gloves, the jackets, the
hand warmers. Hand warmers is a big thing right now.
Right now, but we should list off all this other stuff too: water, sports drinks, diapers, baby formula, bug spray, sunscreen, cleaning supplies, canned goods, mutual can openers, trash bags, shovels, rakes, 5-gallon buckets, wheelbarrows, hand saws. There's probably people could go look at that. Where can they find?
We have it on the website. Look at the CoventryGOP.org. CoventryGOP.org. Right, and you'll be able to go on our website and you will see the list as it keeps growing.
Okay, so that's where you can get a list of everything they need. And
the list will continue to change as
thank
time
you,
goes
Scott.
on.
Yes.
Right now, they need basic sanitary needs to take care of themselves. As time goes on, they may need furniture as they start to get back on their feet and have a place to live.
I'm glad you brought that
Right
up.
now, they're not quite ready for that yet.
Bookmark. I know we have a few minutes. We might go a little over here, but CoventryGOP.org, CoventryGOP.org. And Scott brought up a very important thing. That list is going to change. So if you want to continue to help out the people down in North Carolina, is there a certain name for this? You're just calling it
North Carolina Hurricane Relief.
North Carolina Hurricane Relief. Now let's get down. Let's list the drop-off points and the times and all that.
Yeah.
You have is there a bigger list? I have the list right here.
Well,
Obviously,
no, there's a little bit bigger.
why don't you go ahead?
Every day keeps on growing a little bit.
We're very fortunate in that aspect.
Right.
Yes.
So, of course, what we have is Eckerd Electric on 1265 Main Street in Coventry. That's where we have the Coventry drop-off. He's given us a bay there.
Big thanks to Tim. He's a former Hometown Threads guest.
Right, and I have to unload the second batch and bring it over to Miller Brothers because they've got a bigger container.
Wow.
So that we're doing very well there. Vanilla Bean Cafe, 450 Deerfield Road out in Pomfret. Somebody's dropping off $200 today. I heard they've got a generator that came in a couple of days ago and they're collecting well out in that corner. Miller Brothers is just unbelievable what they've been doing for us. Keep them in mind. They're just super. Beaverbrook Saw Shop, 314 Route 14 in Scotland. They have one of your trailers there as well.
There.
As I say, wherever you go, he's got his fingerprints on this.
Yeah.
You got Oil Willers. I just dropped off a donation box there today. So whenever they're open, you can go in there and do a donation. Mackey's, 249 Columbia Avenue, Route 66 in Columbia. Cash True Value Home Center, 1561 West Main Street. You have Capital Dodge Chrysler Jeep, 1520 West Main Street in Willimantic as well. And the Coventry Town Hall will be doing a donation box as well. And of course, we've got the I'm not going to go through all the towns, but there's 26 towns and basically encompasses almost all of northeastern Connecticut.
How about that? 26 towns.
It's just
pretty much
awesome.
all
That
over-
it is. It goes, I'll just say it goes from Coventry, well, actually Vernon. Vernon is the most west, all the way out to Thompson, down to Killingly, all the way back up to Wyndham, to Mansfield, to Coventry. So it's a big loop. It's really about half of the northeastern Connecticut.
John French making it happen once again. Of course, Scott Miller. Now, before we let you guys go, is there anything else that we're missing that you think you both feels pertinent to pass along here? I mean, we named off the drop-off points at times.
If there's anyone else that wants to jump on board and be a drop location.
That's a very good point.
'Cause
So,
especially maybe up in the north of
yeah, where do you guys look?
Killingly and up in that area.
That's a good point. Are you looking for a drop-off location
we'll
up
take
that
more
way?
We'll take
We'll
more
take-
drop-off
yeah.
locations.
Doesn't matter
definitely.
where. So, should they reach out to John? Do you want to throw out your contact info, both of you, or just want to go through John?
Either way.
Yeah.
Either
So,
way.
contact info, and then we'll get your contact info. Go ahead.
Okay, well, you can contact me at 860-428-7395. That's my personal cell number.
That's John French.
And that's John French. And I have the boxes as well that I got from, again, Scott, that I'm taping up and putting signs on it. This is North Carolina Hurricane Relief Drop. So any stores or businesses that wish to have that, we will come right out, do that, and pick it up when they're full.
Yeah, Capital actually brought down a box yesterday on
Did
the way
they?
to New London. I gave them another box.
Wow, super.
So they've had a very good response up
And,
there.
Scott Miller, Miller Brothers, you want to throw out some contact info?
Sure. Our address is 801 Wyndham Road in South Wyndham, which is Route 32. I can be reached at 860-456-7765. And I'm there from 7 to 5, Monday through Friday, 8 to 12 on Saturday. It's generally pretty busy.
Hey,
So.
how come you wouldn't give me your number? Now you give me
Well, what an honor to
I
have
made you come down.
You made me come down.
What an honor! The fact that I happened to walk in the day these two guys were talking about this.
Timing was unbelievable.
And then
When
we-
you came in, I said, "Bingo, we got something."
We don't need to have you on Wayno's show. Yeah, we got you at home now. We'll get you on Wayno's show.
All
too.
right, sounds
Absolutely. But thank you again for making it happen, and Scott, thanks for everything you
You're
do.
welcome.
Well, thank
Glad
you
we
for
can
giving
help.
us your time here and doing this. So
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
So that'll do it for episode 84. And don't forget North Carolina Hurricane Relief Drop-Off. John French, Scott Miller. Reach out if you want to help out, if you want to be a drop-off location, or if you just want to donate stuff. Again, it's CoventryGOP.org.
Correct.
CoventryGOP.org. And if you missed any of this, you can always reach out to me, Keith C. Rice, and I'll tell you where to go. So, big thanks to Liberty Bank, Be Community Kind, J. Matt Root Bar, Triple E Pro Clean Services. And that'll do it for episode 84 of Hometown Threads. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And in the words of the great Roddy McCumber, bye for now, folks. Bye for now.
And that concludes another edition of Hometown Threads. Got a story for Keith? Reach out to him on Facebook by searching Keith C. Rice or email him at krice@hallradio.net. Don't forget to tune in next week on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM, as well as the Willimantic Today page on Facebook.